you the key. Everything I need to know about what lies before me. Everything I need to know about what lies before me is available to me. Is available to me. To the mind of God within me. Everything I need to do about what lies before me. Everything I need to do about what lies before me is available to me. Is available to me. To the mind of God within me. Everything I need to behold about what lies before me. Everything I need to behold about what lies before me is available to me. It's available to me. To the mind of God within me. Everything I need to know about what lies before me. Everything I need to know about what lies before me is available to me. Is available to me. To the mind of God within me. To the mind of God within me. To the mind of God within me. This next song, I'm sure you all know, so please sing along. And this song probably has more questions in it than any song ever written.
I'm not sure we've got the words
Do we have the words on
following
it?
us this morning just yet. Let's see here what's happening. So we gotta go down some rows and some C's. And then we gotta talk about cannonballs. Then we gotta go over years that a mountain exists. And then we've got years some people can't exist before they're allowed to be free. And then times a man can turn his head and pretend he just doesn't see.
Do we have the
They're
treasure?
not
Oh, they're
up there
not
right now. And
Okay.
so then we go up to a man looking up and seeing the sky.
So you'll know it.
So I'll try to help you out here, okay? So we'll sing old Bob Dylan song, Asking the Question. How many roads must a man walk down before you know he's a man? He said, how many
Well, thank you, Chip and Bucky, and welcome to the Grants Pass Center for Spiritual Living. Is this on? Everyone, you guys hear me okay? Okay, well, welcome. I'm Reverend Steve Van Meter, your senior minister, and it's, you want to bring this up just a little bit for us, Angel? Check 1, 2. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Hear me now? Okay, here we are. All right, well, I want to thank Chip and Bucky for their gift of music this morning. Let's hear it for them. It's great to have live music. So we're going to do what we do every Sunday, and that's talk about our vision and mission statement, which says that at the Grants Pass Center for Spiritual Living, we are an open, loving, spiritual community dedicated to evolving consciousness through the teaching spiritual principles. Well, we have some announcements for you this morning. So first off, a big thank you to Diane and Pat Salter for donating the 2 TVs in our sanctuary. Thank you, guys. And, this is just the start. If you guys have bigger TVs that you'd like to donate so that we can, you know, enlarge our ability to, you know, the text in the back is kind of small because the TVs are small, but this is a good start, isn't it? Does it look nice? A little bit more evolved than the LCD projector from 1970 that we were using. So yeah, we're moving on up. Also, a big thank you to those individuals that helped install them. Not only did Pat bring TVs, but he also brought the tools and the know-how and the manpower to help install these TVs. And also Angelo, I want to thank Angelo for his assistance. He's a great handyman. If you need anything done, see him. And also Ralph Peterson, who goes unnoticed around here doing miracles all the time. I know he's not here today. I think he's on Zoom. So let's thank Ralph. And a huge thank you to me. I did not write this. For the extra time and effort needed to bring this new level of technology. We have run so many cables. You don't even look down here. We don't even know what's going on under there, but everything's working, so that's good. We did run the wire for the Zoom from the board into the camera, and apparently it's so long that it's acting like an antenna and picking up a country western station or something. So we haven't quite got the bugs worked out. I'm sure there's a filter we can get in line that will take that out, but we're in progress. So we're making it all figure out. So today, fundraising committee meets today at noon here in the sanctuary. If you have ideas for fundraising, we're going to talk about it. We have some great things that happened last time that we got together, and we are just going to move forward with fundraising. So be here and bring your ideas. The bookstore is open after service. Yay! So if you wanted to find your favorite metaphysical book in hand, go ahead and browse that after service. Roxanne is our volunteer. Roxanne, can you raise your hand? And we want to thank Roxanne for opening up our bookstore. It's such a great, I mean, it's small, but we're mighty. And we also have a gift of a CD by Laura DeRoche. And so just to see, you've got a bunch of those to give away back there. So please check out our bookstore. Metaphysical Book Study Group. Come join Reverend Stephen as we listen and read Edwin Gaines' book entitled The 4 Spiritual Laws of Prosperity. Learn the secrets of acquiring wealth and living abundantly. It's from 9 to 9:45 in our conference room in the main building here, but we will be off in the month of February. So it's just next week, and then we start again in March, because I will be gone for 2 weeks in February. So we're not going to be on and off and on and off. So we're just going to reconvene in March. And that concludes our announcements for today. And let's see, who do we have next? We're going to sing a song, I think. So here we go. We are one. So please stand and let's sing We Are One together. Thank you.
We are one, we are one. I am you, you are me, we are one. And in this unity, we shall live in harmony, as peace has come, as we are one. We are one. We are one. I am you, you are me, we are one. And in this unity, we shall live in harmony, as peace has come, as we are one.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Let us read the gratitude together that's on the board. I am thankful for the questions I asked and for your and advice and the answers I received. Yes, so it is. Yeah. I'm Deborah Perdue, and I'm a licensed practitioner here, and it's always my joy to be here on the podium. Let's see. Janice Garibay is our table practitioner. She's a practitioner student, and we're so grateful to have her filling in for Paula today. Thank you. And she's available to ask if you have any questions to ask her about prayer and practitioners. And we also have prayer requests, which should be on the back of the seat in front of you. The blue ones are for prayers, and you put in what you would like to see in your life, and we
Yellow ones.
Oh, the yellow ones, thank you. The yellow ones are for that, and we pray for you for a week, and we love to. And then the blue ones are for demonstrations, which are the actual manifestations of what you asked for. We love to hear about those as well. So use us. And if you have a prayer request, an affirmative prayer request, a short one that you'd like us to do after the service, there are a couple of licensed practitioners available, including myself. Bucky, are you available? Yeah. So see Janice, she'll get you hooked up with one of us, and thank you. Are there any first timers today? If you are, please raise your hand. I have a gift for you, but everyone's been here before. Let's see, the cell phones, remember to turn them off or silence them. And let's read the prayer together that's on the screen. We're about to be on the screen. There we go. Curiosity and questions bring clarity and wisdom. My questions open me up to greater possibilities. Sacred inquiry changes my life in 10 official ways. And so it is. Let's sing I Am Loved together. You can remain seated for it. Bucky and Chip and everyone who sang. I have a reading and then we'll do a meditation for a moment and then I'll do an invocation for today's service. A beloved teacher to all of us, Thich Nhat Hanh. I don't know if everybody knows him. He's a Vietnam monk who was 95 when he passed, and he wrote pieces in every step, and it's just been monumental in my own life. And I thought that because he passed on Friday, it would be really good for us to remember him this morning, even though it's off the subject of questions and answers. He had a lot of answers. I am sad, but he tells us to know he lives on in all of us and in nature and everywhere. And I know he does, and I know he absolutely believes in everlasting life. And so even though I'm sad, I think that we can just honor and cherish what he gave us in this world. This passage is from his book, Your True Home, which I haven't read before, and I'm actually ordering it. It's a 365-day guide. I was really happy to find it. So I'm going to read this passage by him, and then let's go into the silence together, really taking it into our hearts and souls, and also just remembering Thich Nhat Hanh and sending love and light. It's called Miracles. Around us, life bursts forth with miracles. A glass of water, a ray of sunshine, a leaf, a caterpillar, a flower, laughter, raindrops. If you live in awareness, it is easy to see miracles everywhere. Each human being is a multiplicity of miracles. Eyes that see thousands of colors, shapes, and forms. Ears that hear a bee flying or a thunderclap. A brain that ponders a speck of dust as easily as the entire cosmos. A heart that beats in rhythm with the heartbeat of all beings. When we are tired and feel discouraged by life's daily struggles, we may not notice these miracles, but they are always there. And go ahead and come back to the room when you're ready. And I speak my word for the Grants Pass Center for Spiritual Living this morning, feeling the miracles of life that Thich Nhat Hanh talked about. They're everywhere, equally present. I know that love and peace guide us, that we are a beautiful, loving spiritual community, and that this service is blessed. I know that each person here is blessed, including the people on Zoom and on Facebook. And I'm just deeply grateful for this place that I call home. Thank you, God, and so it is. So it's time for some special music, followed by Reverend Stephen's talk. Thank you.
This song has good questions in it, and it has sort of, listen carefully because it sort of reinforces the message that Reverend Steve talks about on the sticker, respond with love.
You've got to get up every morning with a smile on your face and show the world all the love in your heart. Then people gonna treat you better. You're gonna the station with the workday wind a-blowing. I've got nothing to do but watch the passers-by. Mirrored in their faces, I see frustration growing, and they don't see it showing. Why do I? You've got to get up every morning with a smile on your face and show the world all the love in your heart. Then people gonna treat you better. You're gonna find, yes you will, that you're beautiful as you feel. I have often asked myself the reason for the sadness in a world where tears are just a lullaby. If there's any answer, maybe love can end the madness, maybe not. Oh, but shouldn't we only try? You've got to get up every morning with a smile on your face and show the world all the love in your heart. Then people gonna treat you better. You're gonna find, yes you will, that you're beautiful. You're beautiful. Yes, you're beautiful as you feel.
Well. Thank you, Chip and Bucky. That was wonderful. So, wow, what an interesting question. The January theme is Living Everyday Wonder, and my topic today is question everything. Question everything. You know, what questions are you asking? Are you asking the right questions to fulfill your reason that you came to this plane of existence? And why are you asking them? And of whom are you asking them? Are you asking enough questions? Questions hold possibilities. They get the juices flowing. They prime the spiritual pump, as it were. And we get curious, and we get answers, and we get knowledge, we get desires, and we get wants and needs and information, and we tend to lend suggestions. When we don't like the way something looks, we question it, and then of course we come up with our own answer, right? Well, if you just did this differently, you know, everything would be better for you. But questions open us up to new possibilities. If we never asked why, we'd never know why. Science of mind and spirit is a philosophy that is open at the top, and this means that it continues to evolve our understanding of spirit and the law that continues to deepen and expand. You know, Dr. Holmes didn't create this thing and just say, oh, okay, this is just the way it's always going to be, and this is the way it is. He left it open at the top so that we could continue to discover new ways of being. And if we stop doing that, if we stop asking questions, we become stagnant. We tend to atrophy. You know what happens if you don't do enough push-ups? The next time you go to do one, you can't even do one. Because your muscles have not been developed. And it's the same with your brain. If we don't continue to ask questions, we forget. It is the doom of man that he forgets, right? And in the Science of Mind, we believe that the direct revelation of truth through our intuitive and spiritual nature, and that anyone may become a revealer of truth who lives in close contact with the indwelling God. Are you living in close contact with your indwelling, what you believe? And the evidence of that is, how is your life going? How's your life going? Are you getting everything that you are asking for? Are your questions getting answered? Again, are we asking the right questions? And are we asking the right questions of the right people? Are we asking questions of people that don't know the answer? And then we wonder why. Why? That's the biggest question. It's the littlest word, but the biggest question. Why? One way in that indwelling presence is to remember that you are it. You are not close to it because it is who and what you are. This is the great healing, is to come into your own and know that God isn't something out there that we need to court or worship, that we are actually the energy and form. That's the biggest challenge, I think, in the human condition, is knowing that we are it. Who am I to say that I am prosperous, successful? Who are you not to say that, is the question. We are it. And the more that we act like it, the more it acts like us. See, if we think that there's a separation, this is the biggest challenge of our life, is to heal the sense of separation that we feel in our lives. We have never been separated from our source. But the appearance is that we are born into this world of form and we're separate from everything else. And we go around looking our whole lives for it. And Ernst Holmes answered that question by saying, what you are looking for, you are looking with. You are already it. There's nothing to be found, but there's something to be known or rediscovered within yourself. Curiosity leads to creativity and innovation, as well as knowledge, understanding, and wisdom. Our willingness to ask questions keeps us open at the top. You know, the minute that we stagnate and we stop asking questions is when we are ready to make our transition into the next greatest yet to be, if you believe in that sort of thing. The minute that we have stopped learning, we stop growing. That's why we need to have the curiosity of a child. So here's my 3 talking points for today, if I can get it out. Question everything. On average, children ask between 70 and 100 questions a day. One of the most frequent is why. Why is the grass green? Why is the sky? Why can't I float around the room? Why are we not all Power Rangers? Or whatever. It's a huge question of why. Why am I here? What am I doing here? Why do I feel trapped sometimes? Do you ever feel like trapped? Like there's got to be an easier way out, right? We are born with natural curiosity. It's part of who we are. We want to learn. We are sponges, ready to soak in our environment, aren't we? We're just, you know, whatever you put before us, you will soak in. And when we're young, We have a desire to learn and then understand more and more about this world we live in. We imagine that anything is possible. This curiosity sparks creativity and our willingness to ask questions and expands our world. Adults ask about 20 questions a day. What happened? What happened between being a kid and asking, 70 to 100 questions to being an adult? And the answer is that we think we know the answers. Oh, I know that. No, I don't need to take that seminar. I don't need to read that book. I already know. I've already experienced that. So we shut down. And once you shut something down, it atrophies. Or when you dam a river, it backs up and moss begins to grow. Or moss don't grow on a rolling stone because it's moving. That's how the Rolling Stones got their name. Possibly. I'll let you Google that. But we need to ask more questions. And most of us are limited to questions like, what do you want for dinner? What movie do you want to watch tonight? Do you want to walk the dogs with me? That's crazy. Because, the dogs, they kind of run your life, don't they? They decide, they let you know when it's time to eat and when it's playtime and, the animals in our lives, we could learn so much if we just listened to the animals. Because they're in the rhythm of the universe. And we're always thinking that they're out of rhythm. They should be in our rhythm, right? Maybe we should be in theirs. Just saying. To reignite our curiosity that we were born with, we can ask more questions and more often. A great place to start is to begin asking questions of all aspects of your life. Why are you here? Why did you choose to manifest? And what is yours to do? Why did I become a minister? I have no idea. But I found out that there is something more to be known. And I knew that if I was charged with being a minister and I needed to pray every day, that it was in my job title to do that. So I can't get away from not praying every day because it's part of who and what I am. Question everything. By asking the questions, we see a bigger picture of our lives. Challenges seem to diminish when we have the answers. When you know how something works, for me it was how do bicycles work? When you take it apart, you get it down to the little parts of the bearings and the wheels and the spokes and the inner tube and the outer tube and once you know how that all works, when something happens on the road of life and you have a flat tire, you don't have to call Auto Club. You can fix it yourself, right? Which saves some energy and, gets your hands dirty, but what the heck? It's going to be 45 minutes till they get there anyway. You might as well start jacking up the car or turn your bike over back in the day. So ask questions to learn things, to learn something new. When was the last time you learned something new? Really poured yourself into learning music, how to read music, or learning how to speak a new language. It's daunting, or learning about metaphysics. And just so you guys know, I'm about to ask you guys some questions. Actually, I want you guys to ask me some metaphysical questions at the end of my talk. So start thinking about what's your biggest metaphysical question, okay? Because I'm going to ask at the end of this. So start percolating what your question is. Why are we here? Oh, that's easy. So number 2, spiritual discernment. We often ask questions and seek answers externally but there is an infinite intelligence always available within us. You know, we seek outside ourselves. We think that it's something that has to be downloaded like a computer. But your operating system already has the 2.0 version within it. You were created with all the connections and all the hardware, all the software you will ever need. But we have to be reminded that we have it. That's what books and workshops and Sunday morning is all about. It reminds us of our connection. It's like I was talking about last couple weeks ago, we were talking about the beauty of the rose. You know, the rose. Why is it beautiful? Why do we think the rose is beautiful? We think it's beautiful because something within us is touched. And we get that oneness. And it is that oneness that we feel one with, that we feel that we are it. That's why we love it. If we weren't beautiful, we would not see the beauty in the rose. Ask questions. Spiritual practice of visioning, spiritual discernment brings us into new close contact with the indwelling presence and allows for direct revelation. Both being centered in oneness and anchoring in love bring that connection. Who do you think you are? Who do you think you are? That's what my mother used to ask me. Who do you think you are? I'm God. No, you're not. Mom, I am. I'm just not acting like it right now. But it's a really good question. Who do you think you are? Are you just a outpicturing of every experience you've had? Or do you know your connection? Do you really know where you come from? And this isn't a judgment. This is just to ask the question to get you to start thinking about why you're here. In visioning, we ask expansive, open-ended questions in order to catch the high idea, to remember who we are. And in spiritual discernment, we ask clarifying questions, seeking divine guidance about something more specific. Spiritual discernment helps clarify the what. What makes this work? What are you thinking? What were you thinking? There's another mom line. What were you thinking? I wasn't. I was just doing. I'm a human doing, not a human being. So here's some good questions. What is mine to do? What is your next indicated step? Which direction do you want to go in? And I would say that if it has something to do with your love, you're on the right track. For see, love is the answer to all questions. Love is the reason we're here. You know, the divine loved itself so much that it didn't want to just stay in the oneness. It had billions of us so that we could have lunch together. It's all about lunch. Where two or more are gathered, there you will find food. But where two or more are gathered, you will find questions and answers. You will find the hidden meaning of the universe in each other. Because if there truly is only one of us here, that means you are it. We don't need to look any further, but we need to rediscover our wholeness, our oneness, and the reason that we're here. We might not have the answers to all of these questions, but there is that within us that does. And rather than trying to find a solution with our limited knowledge or resources, spiritual discernment allows Spirit to provide the answer. And we are the receiving station, just like we're the broadcasting station. We broadcast, that's when we pray, we broadcast what we choose to be, do, and have. And where we demonstrate is how the universe works through us. I mean, look at this vast universe we live in. I mean, do you really think you thought this up? Well, you did, with a little help from our friends. Regular spiritual practice strengthens our ability to connect, to hear that still small voice within us, and to trust its guidance. You know, a lot of times we're given these wonderful truths, and we go, oh no, that couldn't be the truth. Or that's not for me, that's for someone else. And it is for you. And later you go, you know, I should have listened to my gut feeling. I should have followed my intuition, but we don't at times. But in this teaching, we're learning to do that more, to have that divine connection always. Why wouldn't we turn to it for the guidance in our life? We need to, we get to, we choose to. Number 3, can you live in the question? Do you have to know everything? A willingness to stay in the question opens us up to more expansive opportunities, creative ideas, and inspired solutions. Have you ever had a challenge and you tried to figure it out and you couldn't, or you kind of got an answer, but it was like you felt there was more? And then you went to sleep or got away from it and you came back and had this revelation. Like all of a sudden the answer was right there. And it was huge. It was bigger than you could understand. We've all had this situation. Sometimes we need to just let it go and not try to figure it out. Our trying to figure it out with our conscious mind is what's in the way of figuring it out. Because the divine circuits can't flow if we think we already know the answer. We must get our bloated nothingness out of the way and let the divine circuits flow. Asking questions are signals to life that you're ready to live in the answer. And then life lives it through you at the appropriate time. Life lives it through you at the appropriate time. That's from Mary O'Malley, and what's in the way is the way. I love that title. What's in the way is the way. And when we see it as the way, it's no longer in the way. Right? It becomes the answer. So in conclusion, when we are inquisitive, life becomes an endless opportunity to learn and to grow. Albert Einstein is famously quoted as saying, "I have no special talent. I am only passionately curious." Passionately curious. You know, one of his questions was, if I was to run next to a beam of light, how fast could I run? You know, like, what a question. Who would even think about running next to a beam of light? But what a great question. How fast is it? How fast is a beam of light? What are you curious about? What are you asking questions about in your life? Make a sacred inquiry and listen. Listen to that still, small voice. And really give it, 15 or 20 minutes. Don't just go, well, I didn't get an answer in 30 seconds, so I moved on. You must give it time. Seek ye first the kingdom, or the queendom of God, and experience glorious wonders every day. And so it is. So, does anybody have a question that they've always wanted to ask the minister about metaphysics? Anything at all? but it can't be personal or why we didn't, you know, clean the windows today, or why is there ice on my car? Go ahead.
So my question is, I don't know how to phrase it. How do you become a, you know, generally we have two minds, like you say, I'm gonna do this, but then we end up doing the same old thing. So how does one become of one mind?
Well, for those of you in Zoom land, I think the question was, we have asked a question and there's two ideas about it, of one going what we've always done, and then the different answer, or maybe a spiritual equation. Is that correct? That we're given a choice.
Yeah, like moving from doing things one way to doing it the.
How do we make changes in our lives?
Right.
How do we move from doing what we've always done to doing something a little more metaphysical or a little more spiritual, or just different?
Right.
And what I would answer is that we are the result of every decision and choice that we've made in life. And the way to change things is to make different choices. And I think your question is, how do we make those choices? We just do it. Just the old Nike. We just do it. If we are trapped and we feel trapped in only making one choice, then we're going to attract the same answers. You know, it's been said that the mind that created the challenge can't be the same mind that creates the solution. We have to get out of our minds. You ever been out of your mind? It's actually quite pleasant. But we must question why we're making those choices, and then choose to do something different and have the gusto to actually do something different. Because we say we want things different. You know, we're a really interesting species. I want things to change in my life, but don't change anything in my life because I don't like change. Right? Don't we do that? We say, gosh, I want things to be better and different, but don't mess with my life. Don't change anything. I'm comfortable the way I am. We must get uncomfortable. And it may take 21 days. In the book that we're reading in the metaphysical book study, Edwin Gaines suggests taking 21 days and not complaining or gossiping about anything. And that it takes about 21 days to change that consciousness. But if during that 21 days you slip and gossip about someone or complain about something, you have to start the 21 days over again. So about day 19 or 20, you got to be really careful to not start that 21 days over. Change, for some reason, for our human condition, is one of the most difficult things for us to do. You know, we want to eat differently. We want to stop smoking. We want to exercise. We want to fill in the blank. But I'm going to start it tomorrow. We get set in our ways and we fall into a rut. I've had a minister tell me that a rut is a grave with the ends kicked out. So we must get out of our rut. We must make a different decision. If we don't change the decisions we make, we get what we've always gotten. And it can be challenging, but I would challenge you to think that it's not challenging anymore. And you know what? This is going to be easy. This is going to be easy. Or at least this is going to be gentle. Start with gentle kindness with yourself. So does that kind of help, that we just need to, in the moment, make another change? You know, Chris, she'll be talking to me about something and she'll go, oh, and we need to do this and that, and I stop what I'm doing and I do it right then. She's like, I didn't mean right now. I'm like, yeah, but if I don't do it right now, I'm gonna forget, and later you're gonna go, you never did that. So I stop what I'm doing because I want it now. I don't wanna wait and forget. That's my thing, is that I forget. He's the doom of man that he forgets. So while we're talking about it, I do it. And then if it needs more doing later, I can tweak it a little bit, but at least I've started the process. You know, if you're gonna clean your car, go take everything out of the glove box and put it on the floor. Next time you get in your car, you're gonna have to clean it. You know, do things like that. Self-sabotage yourself so that you go throw an egg on your front porch. That'll get you cleaning your porch, right? I wouldn't say that that's what you need to do as an extreme case, but are there any other questions? Maybe one other question about metaphysics? Yes, Karen.
Probably the most asked metaphysical question I could think of is, what is consciousness?
What is consciousness? Okay, next question. Well, we're taught in ministerial school that consciousness is the ground of all being. Think about that. Consciousness is the ground of all being. So when asked a question like this, I go to the exact opposite. What is unconsciousness? Being completely asleep, unaware, unresponsive, uncaring, unavailable, unfill in the blank. Consciousness is being aware, is being alert, is being open at the top and receptive to new ideas constantly. It's being available to ask questions. If someone is unconscious, this is why they have a list of questions that they ask when you hit your head. What year is it? Who's the president? What day is today? What's your social security number? You know, things like that you can recall, right? So I believe that consciousness is where we all start. We all come in conscious. And unfortunately, most of our lives, we try to get unconscious. You know, I have a master's in consciousness, and my friends laugh. They're like, you've been trying to get unconscious your whole life. I'm like, yeah, but I woke up one day and I didn't want to be unconscious anymore. I wanted to know. I wanted to know why. So become conscious. And it comes in little tiny things. You know, you don't just become conscious overnight, although it can happen in the twinkling of an eye. I have had consciousness happen to me in the twinkling of an eye. I was on my friend's boat. I was just new to this, and I was reading that big textbook, The Science of Mind. And some passage like made that, like I got it. And I put the book down and I went outside and everything was glowing and different. I was like on drugs, but I hadn't been on drugs. But something happened to me because I became aware. All of a sudden, the questions weren't haunting me anymore. I had the answer. I didn't have like the answer to everything, but everything seemed to make sense. The birds, the seagulls, everything. And it was like life was gonna be okay. You know, there comes a time when you realize that everything is gonna be okay. No matter what the turmoil in the moment may look like, there is a way. There is an answer. But we must continue to ask the questions so the answer can present itself. Does that make sense? Does that help a little bit? There's no answering that question, by the way. What is consciousness? You could ask 30 people and get 74 different answers. Well, thank you all for coming this morning, and we're going to go into prayer now. So if you'd like to just close your eyes, if that's comfortable for you, let's take a moment to connect or give awareness to the connection that always exists within us. So I ask the question, what is ours to do today? We start by establishing that connection within us, the creative energy of all it is that allows us to think, to move, to reason, to decipher. Each one of us is a divine emanation of that power. Each one of us is that power in form. Each one of us is a miracle. And as we allow that miraculous energy to be vibrant within our being, answers come. Decisions are made. And if we don't like the answers to those decisions, we get to think up new questions. For as we expand our consciousness, as we open ourselves to the answers, new questions come. A healing comes in. All the molecules and cells and DNA in our body are moved to the correct places for ultimate healing. And our minds are healed by the revealing of our truth. It is through this conscious awareness that each one of us gets to remember who we are. How good it is to know the answers are within the question. We are enough. And beautiful experiences are happening in our lives right here and right now. So we claim them. We say yes. And we know that the answer to every question is always love. For when we invite love into every situation, the healing and revealing are happening. So we let go. We completely release these ideas into that living, loving law where God is God in our answers. Letting go of whatever challenge may be before you allows that opening for the answer to come in, for the healing to begin. And we claim that healing right here and right now as we affirm this together by saying, so it is. Amen. Okay, well, it is now time for our offertory, so we'll get this up on the screen and we will affirm this together, which says, God within and all around gives us everything we need. And in gratitude, I share my gift, knowing that my life was abundant and prosperous, and my gift spreads more good in the world. And so it is.
I could just. This is sort of got all the elements of Reverend Steve's talk. And especially living in the question. Goes like this. I never had the answers. Never thought I would. I just took my chances and I smiled when I could. hope. When someone's drowning in their trouble, and before one word is spoken, you could be the cloud in the trouble. You're a blessing in my life. I just wanna say you're a blessing in my life. And it's supposed to be that way. Oh, you know, I could never show you how much you mean to me. But I'm starting to know how good this life be. 'Cause if we're just a part of the picture, then we're also part of life. And we don't have to have every answer, my friend, just to make someone's day a little bit brighter. 'Cause your smile is more than a token. And when someone's drowning in their trouble, before one word is spoken, you could be the cloud in the trouble. You're a blessing in my life. I just wanna say you're a blessing in my life. And ain't it supposed to be that way? Ooh, oh, you're a blessing in my life. I just wanna say you're a blessing in my life. Ain't it supposed to be that way?
Thank you, Chip and Bucky. And yeah, let's hear it for them again. That was wonderful. We're so blessed with great musicians here. Well, let's say a blessing upon our offertory today. From the love of pure spiritual energy, these tithes and gifts have been collected. They are evidence of our faith, our belief, and our ability to manifest in this world of form. They do good work in the world, and they bless the Grants Pass Center for Spiritual Living and this community. They bless the giver and receiver. And we are so blessed that this center is here to allow people to come and remember who they are. And for this, we are all blessed. And so it is. All right, well, it's time for our final song. So, Chip and Bucky.
Okay. No, I don't think we have, do we have the words
Yes,
yet?
right here, right now,
Oh, that, we're gonna do that one?
right here, right now.
I'm not even ready for that.
Well, what would you like to say?
Here we're gonna do it. You just follow, we'll do it really quick. And you can, it's about moving forward, and the words are all the same. Come and go with me to that land. Come and go with me to that land. Come and go with me to that land where I'm bound.
Okay.
And it goes like this. Well, come and go with me to that land. Come and go with me to that land. Come and go with me to that land where I'm bound, where I'm bound. It's come and go with me to that land. Come and go with me to that land. With me to that land where I'm bound. Do it one more time. So come and go with me to that land. Come and go with me to that land. Come and go with me to that land where I'm bound, where I'm bound. Oh, come and go with me to that land. Come and go with me to that land. With me to that land where I'm bound, where I'm bound.
So it's time for a benediction. Please repeat after me. Something wonderful is happening right now.
Something wonderful is happening right now.
It's happening in my mind,
Happening in my mind,
in my body,
in my body,
and in the body of my affairs.
in the body of my affairs.
I think it,
Think it,
I feel it,
I feel it,
and I know it. Just the way that it is,
the way that it is,
just the way that it is not.
the way that it is not.
Thank you, life. Please stay for our meeting, for the activities, or stay in fellowship, but blessings. Have a wonderful week.
Yay.